You felt it, haven't you? That overwhelming desire for connection, the longing for someone to love, someone to hold, someone to call your own. It feels natural. After all, human beings are hardwired for relationships. But what happens when that need, that longing goes too far? What happens when the desire for love becomes a desperation so intense that it clouds your judgment, distorts your self worth, and leaves you vulnerable to manipulation, deceit, and even abuse? Picture this: you meet someone who seems like a dream come true. They give you attention, make you feel seen, even loved, but, but there is something just a little off. They don't respect your boundaries, they don't honor your values, but you ignore those signs because you're afraid to be alone. And so you cling. But the longer you hold on, the more they hold power over you. They've learned what makes you tick. They know how to push your buttons, how to get under your skin. And before you know it, you've traded your worth for their validation. How did you get here? And more importantly, how can you stop yourself from getting trapped in this cycle? Let's dive deep. You see, desperation isn't just wanting someone badly. It's needing something so intensely that you become willing to settle for anything. You start to believe that the only way to feel whole is through a relationship, even if it means compromising your values, your boundaries, and your well being. Think about it. In our culture, we're often taught that being in a relationship is the ultimate goal. Love, romance, companionship, they are presented as the keys to happiness. Social media, movies, friends, even family sometimes make you feel like you are incomplete if you're not coupled up. This narrative, while comforting to some, can be incredibly damaging. When you internalize this, you start to believe that without a partner, you are nothing. The feeling of inadequacy creeps in, and here is where the danger lies. Desperation is fertile ground for manipulation. When you are desperate for a relationship, your standards begin to erode. You stop asking tough questions. You start overlooking red flags. You may even convince yourself that those red flags aren't really red. Maybe they are just minor inconveniences or something to walk through. The truth is, manipulation thrives in this environment. Someone who knows how to read people can see this desperation in your eyes. They can sense your need for affection, your desire to feel valued. They'll latch onto that need and slowly, subtly, they'll begin to control the situation. The signs are often there from the start. Maybe they love bomb you with compliments and attention in the beginning, only to withdraw it when they sense you're getting too attached. Perhaps they begin to play mind games, leaving you second guessing your worth. They could gaslight you into believing that your needs are unreasonable or that your fears are unfounded. Over time, you start to lose yourself in the relationship, questioning your every move, your every word, everything. You see, the thing about desperation is that it creates an internal void, a feeling that you are incomplete without someone else. And here is the truth: no one can fill that void for you. Not a partner, not a friend, not a job, not even a family member. Only you can do that. When you place that responsibility on someone else, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But more than disappointment, desperation can lead to psychological harm. It's draining. You give and give and you give your energy, your time, your hurt, only to feel empty and unappreciated. You become hyper aware of every tiny changes in your partner's mood, constantly working on eggshells. You are so invested in keeping the peace and holding on to the relationship that you start to neglect your own needs and your own desires. The thing is, the more desperate you are to keep the relationship, the more power you give the other person. The less you honor yourself, the more they can manipulate you. It becomes a vicious cycle. And what happens when you finally realize you've been used? You feel betrayed, lost, and confused. So, how do we break free from this cycle? How do we go from desperation to empowerment? The first step is to recognize the worth within yourself. It's time to stop measuring your worth by the attention of others. When you learn to stand alone, when you realize that you are complete, whole, and worthy just as you are, the need for a relationship becomes less about filling a void and more about adding to an already rich, fulfilling life. Practice self love. This isn't some abstract feel good advice, it's crucial. When you love yourself, you respect your own boundaries, you refuse to tolerate mistreatment, and you don't settle for less than you deserve. Loving yourself means investing time in knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you will never compromise on. Set boundaries and enforce them. Boundaries aren't walls, they are guidelines for how you allow others to treat you. Boundaries keep you safe emotionally, physically, and psychologically. Someone who genuinely respects you will honor your boundaries without question. If they don't, if they try to push you to compromise on what you know is right for you, then it's time to walk away. Don't fear being alone. The biggest mistake you can make is to rush into another relationship just to avoid loneliness. Being single is not a curse, it's an opportunity for growth, self discovery, and freedom. Learn to be comfortable in your own company. True healing comes from within, not from another person. Finally, you need to rebuild trust, not in someone else, but in yourself. Trust that you have the power to make decisions that honor your true self. Trust that with or without a relationship, you are whole. Trust that you have the strength to walk away from anything, anyone that threatens your peace and well being. When you get to this place, you'll be amazed at how different your relationships will become. You will no longer be susceptible to manipulation. You will no longer be willing to be used or abused. You will recognize your value, and those who come into your life will either rise to meet you or fall away. And that's okay because the only relationship you'll truly ever need to nurture is the one you have with yourself. Now, to sum it all up, desperation in a relationship is dangerous. It clouds your judgment, it opens the door to manipulation, and it leaves you vulnerable to abuse. But the key to breaking free from this cycle lies in understanding your own worth. When you stop looking for someone else to fill your void, when you stop basing your happiness on another person's behavior or attention, you free yourself. You give yourself permission to heal, to grow, and to love in a way that is healthy, balanced, and authentic. Remember, you are enough. You are complete just as you are. You don't need to sacrifice yourself or your well being for love. True love comes when you learn to love yourself first. And that's when the right relationship, one built on respect, trust, and mutual care, will come into your life. Now, ask yourself, are you ready to take back your power? To stop settling for anything less than you deserve? To walk away from manipulation, abuse, and fear? The choice is yours, and it starts with you. I hope this has helped someone today. Thank you for listening or watching, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Bye.